Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So, today's Sketchbook Doodles video is going to be me showing basically another screen toning process, I guess. Here's a sketch of Kazuha that you might have seen from Twitter or Instagram. But yeah, we're gonna be doing another one on Xingqiu. I believe the last time I did a Sketchbook Doodles video where I did screen toning, I also did a drawing of Xingqiu, but yeah, this is merely by coincidence. I knew I wanted to do a screen toning video again, but the last thing I wanted to, like, how to explain this? The thing that I wanted to draw next was this, and I don't know if some of you guys will recognize what this is. If you played the recent event for Lantern Rite and you did the story portion, hopefully you'll recognize this. I won't explain it too much so it won't be spoilers, but this pose for Xingqiu reminded me of the Ace Attorney thing, and according to my brother, people have already done this before, so yeah, I decided to do my own version traditionally. And yeah, I'm just using a scrap piece of like a notepad to do a little bit of scratching on it because my pen would not work. So yeah, for the first portion of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys kind of lining in real time, and then we'll get back into like the the time-lapse portion, I guess, because I thought it'd be more beneficial to see that in time-lapse, to see it overall come together rather than seeing kind of like splices of footage. But for the lining, I thought it'd be more beneficial to show you guys the real time, to show you guys how slow I am when inking. But yeah, like I said, I don't like doing inking that much. I do like the look of it, but I do not have the patience or the dedication, I guess, to do inking like this. I did less detail, I think, in this inking that I did in my previous Xingqiu one, and it might be because Xingqiu was a lot bigger in my first attempt at screen toning. But yeah, so I did have kind of an idea. I wanted to have a more contrasting like drawing in my sketchbook for this, because screen toning is very much just like grays, your black and your white, so I wanted to have some text and some color into it. So we're going to get to that a little bit later. So I'm just preparing everything for the screen toning portion, which is literally everything except for the text, and the kind of like speech bubble won't be, not speech bubble, what do you call these? I don't know what they are. It's like those speech bubbles, but they're pointy, I guess, on a bunch of different sides, like for dramatic effect. If you guys haven't, did I explain it? Okay, let me preface this video with something. I was doing the voiceover for the ball painting, or like the Raiden Shogun painting, and the amount of times the program has crashed recording that audio, which is literally like an hour ago that I recorded it. I'm a little bit tired and scattered brain from that, so apologies. But what was I talking about? Yeah, my brain's just all over the place right now. I think this is the most tired I've been this week. Or like this entire time. I can't even say the whole year. The year just like, it's literally only been like almost a month. But yeah, I'm preparing everything for screen toning, and I didn't expect it to take me this long. Another issue I'm gonna run into is that because I'm reusing a lot of screen toning from my first session, some of it isn't as tacky anymore, and that's my fault for not, I guess, being a little bit more cautious. So I am going to be using a glue stick every so often, but regardless of that, some of it starts to peel off a little bit, so apologies if some areas look a little bit more blank. I don't know if you guys can tell the way I'm inking this. I've given up during the inking portion of this. I usually put a little bit more texture and a little bit more line weight variation into objects if I can. I feel like this is just my attempt to redeem myself right here by doing it near the clothing. But yeah, I usually do it so I have better indication and I don't have to worry too much about the shading when I do the screen toning. And I'm gonna run into that issue a little bit because I get very lazy when doing the screen tone, so a lot of things aren't gonna make sense. His arm is gonna look like it's bending weirdly because of how I place the shadows, so yeah. I'm pretty sure I talked about this. I'm doing the Ace Attorney objection thing because that's what Xingqiu looks like he's doing. So yeah, I know it's not funny and like probably billions of people have already done this on Twitter, so yeah, I just wanted to do a video on it because I know some people really enjoyed when I used screen toning that one time, so hopefully you guys enjoy it again. And it was just fun. It was honestly fun. It did take me 3 hours to do, which is not an ideal time for me to do for literally a single page in my sketchbook. But I guess like in a way, I don't think you should be pressured to restrict the amount of time or delegate an amount of time for your sketches unless it's for like a purpose. So like if you're doing like, I don't know, 30-second sketches or like 1-minute sketches, 10-minute sketches or something, then yeah, it's gonna be beneficial because it has a purpose. But if you're just sketching for fun in your sketchbook, don't like delegate and restrict yourself to a certain amount of time because eventually you'll get not fun and you'll get stressed over finishing rather than just making something you really enjoy, I guess. Yeah, my attempt to add more detail because I know that I was gonna I don't know, I think a part of me already knew I was gonna be lazy with this, so I tried to add a little bit more detail in some areas, but then a part of me was like, you don't have time for this, like you're gonna be sleepy soon, so you might as well just get it done. I've been getting a lot less sleep lately and it's not very good, but hopefully after literally Sunday I should be, no, actually this video comes out on Monday, so hopefully today I'm feeling a lot better. Hopefully my Monday self is just feeling a lot better than the 29th of January self. So in terms of the process, I am just erasing the excess graphite so I can see where these new lines shall be. I'm trying my best to plan out where I want the screen tone to be. So for the hair, I want to make sure I'm kind of blocking out the highlights so I know where to cut. And then on the hand, I did a little bit because the other areas, most likely I will just do on a whim. And then the rest of the area, most likely I'll cover and then add shadows later. I did my best to measure things out. I'm showing you guys in real time what it's like to kind of figure this all out first. And then once I do a few cuts, I'll show you guys in time-lapse mode everything so that it looks and makes more sense, because I didn't want to cut out too much footage at this point. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys just the general process and how slow I go. Just by how I'm holding the leader knife, probably you guys can't tell how much pressure I'm putting. I'm trying my best not to put too much pressure, and this first pass that you're seeing, I actually didn't cut through enough. I did cut it out, but the screen tone did not come out, so I'm doing a second pass right here so that I could get it to cut nicely like this. I did do a little bit of precautions, I guess, if it makes sense. I don't know if it does. I added 2 pieces of cardstock, just like 2 little blocks of cardstock, like 2 squares that I had laying around underneath this paper. This paper is super thin, and from my last experience of using the screen tones, I pressed down too hard, so I knew I might accidentally cut through the paper here, so I added some cardstock so I don't damage the next few pages if I do end up pressing that hard. Luckily, it didn't transfer through, and I only had, I think, 1 or 2 areas where I pierced a little bit too hard. So yeah, it's definitely something you have to get used to, and I'm definitely not used to it. So when I was doing the hair, I actually remembered that I should do the hair first before I do the skin on his face, because I had problems last time with placing the hair screen tone on top of the face by accident, and then when I was lifting up the screen tone from his face, it was lifting up all the shadows that I did place. So even though I did my best to not lift up unnecessary parts of the image, it basically didn't stick all too well for some of the smaller areas, especially where his bangs kind of, or his fringe touches his forehead. So I'll lose that. But you can see that I'm playing around with a lot of different shapes of screen tone that I have laying around, because I'm trying my best to preserve my screen tones. Even though, did I mention this in the last video where I did screen tone? I think I did. So the initial reason why I brought screen tone was actually because at the time, or so I thought, my friend was super interested in doing like screen toning and like making her own kind of manga, or like doing like test pages and stuff. So I wanted to buy her some screen toning, and I bought like the knife and stuff for her to use, and I decided to pick up kind of like a duplicate amount for myself so I could play around with it too, because I was super interested in just the process of doing screen toning. And especially if you watch what is that show, Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun. So when you're watching like Chio and who else was there, the senpai, oh I don't remember his name, Hori senpai, do the screen toning portion, I was thinking like, this is very ignorant of me, how hard is it to do screen toning? And because like for me, I have a background a little bit in printmaking, so I've dealt a lot with like wood carving and like using kind of more like knife like materials, or like burnishers, or just like things for etching and stuff. So I thought I had a good decent grasp of how much pressure to use for like these tools. But screen tones was kind of like a different experience, because you want to be accurate with the knife, right? And I feel like I wasn't too accurate. You want to be delicate enough not to cut through the page. Like, don't do what Hori senpai did, and then don't do what Chio did, because I think hers, she didn't cut it accurately enough, and I was having issues with that too. And then there's Wakamatsu, who's Jesus. Okay. But yeah, so I did a little bit of, I don't know how to explain this, like, questioning my friend, I guess. So I was questioning her because I like to do this with my friends, as in like before I buy their gifts, I like to ask them a bunch of different questions in the natural way possible, like as natural as I can, to see what their current interests lie, right? Without blatantly saying, hey, I bought you screen tones, you better like it. So I was leading the conversation in such a way where I was asking her like, hey, are you still into drawing and stuff? Like, I know like you got a tablet recently, and I know you've been doodling here and there, and you're like still interested in anime and manga, so like you're still drawing? And then she's like, yes, I've been still drawing, but like not as much, like I don't really have the time for it. So I kind of like went through like fervor, and I was like, hey, have you ever tried screen toning? And she's like, oh, I've never tried it. And I'm like, do you want to? And she's like, oh, like maybe one day, but I don't know like if I can, because like she wants to do like a full page, but then if she does a full page, she might want to do like her initial plan was to do her own kind of like comic, right? But like from what I gathered after talking to her for a few minutes was that before she was more interested, but like at this moment I don't think she is. So I'm a little bit scared to gift her that for her birthday gift. And her birthday was like last year, obviously. So I didn't give it to her. I gave her something else different. I gave her something a little bit more practical. I think we're at that age that practical gifts are a little bit more appealing to us, because we're in our mid-20s now at this point. And we're at like, I don't know, at this point, yeah, I feel like practical items are a little bit more appealing to us. Like even my friend gave me a Japanese like what's it called? Is it tamagoyaki? I don't know. It's like the egg omelet thing. She gave me like one specifically that's made for It's just basically a Japanese rectangular pan, but it's like itty bitty. It's like tiny. But yeah, I really like it. I feel like this is how I know I'm getting older. Like my interests for gifts and stuff are now like furniture, household items, and all that jazz. Like my friends still gift me a lot of art supplies because I'm very heavily into art still, but yeah, I'm still at that phase where it's like not accepting that I'm in my mid-20s. But yeah, so I still have her set untouched just in case, but if she doesn't want it in the end, I might gift the knife to someone else that might have a set and they can have a spare, or I'll just keep it as a spare and then I'll keep the rest of the screen tone for myself. But for now, I'm going to leave it untouched because who knows, she might re-pick up drawing again and I can probably gift it to her in the future. That's like, I don't know, is it weird? I don't know if how many people do this. I do it a lot. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I always ask weird questions to my friends to see where their interests lie so I can get them gifts. Because I feel like it gets harder every year that passes. Because I've known one since I was 12, so it's been like 13 years. And I known the other one for 11 years, so it's like, I don't know, it's hard. It's hard to think of gifts to give them. And I know we always say like, oh, you don't have to get me a gift, but it's like, at this point, it's also just feels like tradition. I always give them a birthday gift and a Christmas gift. It's like the only things I think about. And I always, I don't know if I'm just a weird person. I always think of people's gift like all year round. I never think about it like, oh, like their birthday's coming up, I should get them something. I always like think about it too much, I think. Like throughout the year, because like I already thought about their next gifts and it's only January and both of their birthdays are in the later half of the year, like after even my birthday. So I don't know. I think I think about it too much. Maybe it's the pressure because I'm scared that gets them something that they won't use or they won't like. Even like that one video, the Yoimiya one with the Tokyo treats video. I bought them all mugs, but I made sure to buy mugs that weren't matching. They're all cat related mugs because I think we're all cat people. I know two of us are, and one's kind of like, she just likes cute fluffy things, so it's like, you probably like cats. But yeah, I'm just rambling. I bought all of us like cat mugs as a Christmas gift because I thought it was cute, and all of us drink tea a lot, or coffee, mostly tea. But yeah, I just thought it was fun to get us all different ones, but still like somewhat matching. I don't know if that's weird. I'm so scattered brain right now. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I did use pencil crayons for the text, and I'll talk to you guys next time with another video. Bye!